streaming and recording. Alright, so I'm gonna unwrap. I'm gonna build a little capsule real quick, as fast as I can. I should have done this earlier, but what else? And what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna show you some unwrapping. Sorry, some texturing stuff that you can do, and some other little things you can do, like that I have written on the board there. So I'll go through them. So I'm gonna insert this first, and then I'm gonna extrude them by local normal, and I'll extrude inside, so I get a little dumbbell thing. Yeah, and then I can go to the smoothing groups, or I can just be lazy and auto smooth it. Hopefully it works okay. Where's auto smooth? Auto smooth. Looks grand. Cool, looks grand. Alright, and I should quad this up. I'm going to do like a cheap way of doing it. It's not great. You shouldn't. You should quad it up because it is better. But just in case you're ever like super rushed for time, you can do this thing called tessellate, which I can't find whether it is. Oh, there we go. Tessellate, and then like this makes it quads for you already. But it's not great, like, because you would get less polys if you manually connect it yourself. So I'm a tessellate. Done. Cool. Job done. Then I'm going to unwrap as fast as I can. So, okay, what's the schmeartest way to do this? I will remove the map seams first, and then so the top and bottom I'll probably just like planar map them. Can I do both at the same time? Planar map. Can you be editor? Did that work? Yay! Okay, they're both there, and cool. Let me just move them out of the way for now. Grand. And then I'm just gonna do a point-to-point. Is my UI a bit weird, isn't it? Is this a bit weird to you? I can't reach the button. Okay, I'm gonna do point-to-point seams. Just cut all the way down it. Grand. And what's the best way to unwrap this? Use the edge tool. Click here, ring around rosy, and convert that to oops. Cool. So I should be able to select everything, help map this, start, pause, start, relax, done, commit, pull that to the side, and then I need to do these as well. I might just do these separately like that, you know, so they'll just be two flat discs. So I'm selecting both. Hopefully I can just do both at the same time. I'll do a planar map. Nope, doesn't work. I will do a quick bit. Yay. Okay, cool. Oh no, made a miss. Nope. And then I can also try. Why is my UI not working? Yeah, it's very. Let me squash it and put it back up. No, it's pretty. Can I pull this to its own location? Oh, that's amazing. I can't even move them. Go on. Go on, you thing. What? What? It's literally hidden in here. Oh, my lord. Okay, I'm trying to get at something called a flat planar map, but I don't know where it is. Anyone got Max open there? The UV, can you show me the UV thing? I just want to see where the button is. This is really annoying. It should be here somewhere, I feel like. Edit UVs. Oh, I can't reach it. It's right down here. Which one is it? It's the one on the left, is it?
Yeah.
Alright, so there's a thing called edit quick planar map. Nice. It's right there. You can barely see it. Click. Did it work? No, it didn't. D's.
I
think maybe I have no. I think I have to do them one at a time. Oh, well, yeah. I probably should close maps as well. But like effort, like you know what I mean. Let's see if I can quit playing a map. Just one. Yay! Okay, so I do just do them individually instead of trying to be smart. Cool. Quit playing a map. Jumped in, and then let's grab these two, put them out of the way, and then it's just these. I think, right? Did I have to do left? Yeah, I think so. Why aren't hold shift and click to select multiple? It won't. Okay, great. My max is acting up, so sorry. Say what? Where's the ignore backfacing? There we go. Cool. What? Right?
Save it and post. Yeah.
It's wrecking my head. Actually, my whole computer is going mental. It won't save either. Nice. 3ds Max. Menu. Okay, who knows that that's saved? Let's see. Maybe it's because I got Substance open as well. Oh, nice. And cylinder. Saws. Oh my god, everything's okay now. Okay, cool. So weird. Anyway, okay, that still isn't working, but whatever. Ignore backfacing is off, so I should be able just to do this. Okay, cool. And it's already been split, so if I do that, should that work? Yay. Cool. Also, if you have something like this, you can do a straighten, which is, where is it again? Straighten options. There is a straighten up here somewhere. I don't know why. Okay, let me just align it. Nope. Where is straighten gone to? Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, I might need to rotate it first. It's usually pretty good. Like, it just makes, like, you know, if it's slightly curved, it usually straightens it out, make it, like, you know, perfectly flat. But it doesn't always work that well. Okay, that's great. Shut the hell up. No, that's not working. Whatever, it's fine.
Can I ask an unrelated question?
How unrelated?
To the class? Well, not to this.
Okay.
When will we get a raise for our houses?
When I mark them.
When we mark them?
When
I mark it.
Okay. And then you can also try this one, relax by edge angles, and that usually gives you a straighter look. If it works or it doesn't work, looks fine. Literally when I got a chance, to be honest. Yeah. And then I'll do that. I have all of them there, and then I'll do that thing I showed you. So rescale and rotate. Have no padding. And cool, they're all squished in. I may want to make this one straight, just because if I'm going to use a material on it, I need it to be straight. So I may just rotate this straight up a ways. And does that work here? If I push this here, grand. So sometimes you do need to do some manual stuff. If I had more time, I'd probably like move these around it, because there's a lot of empty space here. I'd probably like, you know, just try and scale them up just to maximize the amount of texture space that I have. But for now, that's great. Cool. So convert to editable poly and export this. File export. Just to be safe. it's kind of like an old habit. You honestly don't really need to. When you export with FBX, it kind of collapses everything for you anyway. I just do it like it's an old habit that I probably shouldn't do. It's not a big deal though, by the way. So smooth group super smooth, because like if I add another unwrap EVW onto it again, it'll still have the same pieces already unwrapped. This is fine. I have no animation. Job done. Cool. Export and close this. So yes. Then I'm going to go to substance and I forgot to show you shell. Let me launch that while I also launch substance. Well, that's nice. It's a new little logo. They're doing subsurface scattering, I guess. Cool. Alright, so substance you all know already-ish. So file, open, oh sorry, file new, even. File new, and we're going to go to select the file. It's going to do one on the desktop that I have, which is this Yokibab. Everything else is pretty much okay. I'm going to try to go 1 or 2 forward to be faster, and okay. Cool. Cool, there's my cylinder. And okay, cool. So there's a few things we want to go through. We want to go through alphas. We want to go through substance source and bulk maps for edgeware and AO, which I'll go over now. So first thing is just real quick. If I do the cylinder, let me just put on a 4. And let's say I was making a cup, right? So the poly. And we just get rid of the top one. And like the easiest thing to do if I'm doing a cup is like scale it in and then hold shift and pull down, and I've got the inside of the cup, correct? Alright, cool. So that's grand and that's easy when my cup looks straight. That's super easy. Now the problem comes when I if I FFD this. Where's my FFD? Sorry, control points. Grab these, and let's say I was doing like a curve cup like that. Yeah, the FFD will allow you to do that. I've shown you FFD before. No. Yes, I definitely have. What? No, 100% on FFD. Definitely. Have you not? No. Is it new to everyone? Yeah. I've seen it. I definitely showed you when we did like the bendy thing. I'm gonna go through my old videos. Either way, FFD is this cool thing. You guaranteed have seen this before. Let me do it for a box, okay? And blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So FFD is this thing. There's a 2x2, 3x3, 4x4. Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck me. Right. There's a box version and a cylinder version. There's literally 2, 3, 4, and boxes like you can set however many you want. Yeah, you have to add the FFD. You have to open this and hit control points before you can actually affect the control points. But it allows you to like do weird shapes and stuff. Because I can do things like that way easier. Like edit poly, I would have had to grab all the polys and put it in, all of them and put it in. It's just a lot of effort. It's not really easier or harder. It just grabs them all at the same time and then allows you to do stuff like so say like this, right?
Could you not do with edit poly yourself?
Yeah. You could. It's almost exactly the same, except you kind of just get a bit more control with this, and it looks nicer usually because it just does. Like you can do the same thing with self selection. It generally is a bit easier, I find, with FFD, and I'm just showing you. You can mess around and do stuff with it. Like you just have a bit more control, and then like with self selection, sometimes it's hard to get. Like if I want only this corner or something like that. Yeah, it is quite difficult. Like, so it just makes it a little easier. It's more or less the same thing. So that's the box one, and then for the other one, I use the cylinder. So it's an FFD cylinder. And as I said before in the videos, if you go to edit poly and you select something and you FFD, you see the way it's only affecting that one? Because I selected that, so I already have an FFD on top of it. It's an FFD. Because I'm only selecting those, it only affects whatever I'm selecting. Okay, dokes? That's another reason for using it. You might want to test something before you self-select. So you FFD in chess. You don't have to go like, oh, I'm going to select everything. You don't have to. You just don't have a selection. It'll select everything. Or if you want to only affect certain areas, you can, there's a Hofcup. There you go. It only selects the bits that you're selecting. It only does it to the bits you're selecting. Anyway, got this. Convert to editable poly again, or I could put another edit poly modifier. Doesn't really matter. And now I've got the inside. Now I can do the same thing. I could go like, pull it in, and it's really awkward, but I could go like this and then move it down until I hit, oh shit, okay, make it smaller again, and then pull it down. I could. It's grand. It works fine. Or I could, and that gets even harder when I've got weird shapes. So that's a cylinder shape, which is fine. But if I have like weird, like waggly shape, it gets even harder if I do it that way. So the easy way, what we like here, is the shell modifier. Shell. And you can either do inside or outside. By default, it does outside. So it says like how much it shells by. So I can do 0. And again, when polygons are on top of polygons directly, they look like crap. So don't do that. And then I'll pull the inside in, which makes it smaller. In here. There we go. Okay, so I can get real small if I want. So it's up to me, my size. Or my thickness even. Okay. Yeah. And then this segments is like how many segments it adds to the side here. Which I might want, like if I want to make like a bump lip or something, I'll add some segments and then pull it. Okay? That okay? Cool. Alright, so I have done shell now. You all know what it is. I have done FFD before. So remember those terms because you may need them in the future. So, first thing I want to show you, all this materials here. I think I touched on it, but maybe I didn't. There is a thing called substance source that I think you have access to because you're students, but even if you're not, like if you buy substance, you get access to it. You get like 30 downloads a month or something. Yeah, 30 downloads per month. And what this does is it has loads of materials that you can just use. But even if you don't subscribe, there are free ones. They show you. They have free ones for you every week or every month. They give you one free. So like you can go in and like you can buy them if you want like a specific material. You can subscribe and like buy them or whatever. They also do have free ones. Like this one was free. So if you go to free assets, there's free stuff. And what? Where? That's carpet, but you can use it as like you probably take away the flakes and use it. And when you download it, it comes in as this SBSAR format. So let me just download that to the desktop. I have it already, but let me just download it again. And to input that, show it folder. All I need to do is drag it in. And Substance is smart. It will kind of ask you like, what is this thing? It's kind of smart as in it knows you're dragging in something, but it will ask you what you want it to be. So this will be like, oh, this is a, actually don't know if I go base material or we do base material. And then you can import current session, which means it only shows up for this time that you're using it, to this project. So every time you save it, it's on in there in that project. Or if you go to shelf, it means it's there for any project that you open.
Just in terms of when you went up and you put base samples, where the materials matter?
I pick material because then it knows that it's a material and that's put into the material section. If I had put a different thing, it would have gone to a different thing. Like, for example, I can import textures and alphas.
What happens if you put it in alpha?
It wouldn't work, I think. So there you go. I've got lava flow in this, and because I unwrapped it pretty okay, it looks gorgeous.
What if you wanted to put 2 different materials on 2 different things?
We literally did that.
Oh, sorry.
Are you being soft right now? Do you remember? Do you? Okay, if I want to put like metal.
You have to put a mask on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So add a black mask, so it doesn't show anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Cool. And then like, yeah, and it will update in real time as well. And it shows you what it's doing. Cool. Yeah. All right. So that's how you get new substance materials in. The next bit, alphas, to stamp alphas. An alpha is this alpha, black and white image, and it's literally just a black and white picture. That's all it is, black and white picture. And what it allows me to do is, you remember from last week, stamp that picture. Okay, so there's two ways you can use alphas. I can use a brush, in which case I can stamp that picture, and on the brush I can tell it what to do. So if I scroll down to the bottom, the brush has like all the brush settings, so like same as in Photoshop, size jitter, angle jitter. Size jitter is like how much it varies the size by. But if you go down to the bottom, there's a material mode, and on the material mode it says like, do you want to paint like color, height, rough, metal, normal? In this case I'll be like, no, I only want to paint height because I want to stamp it to like, you know, get height up, and then I'm going to make the height go up, let's say. In which case I'll just do that, and that should stamp me up. Yeah, cool. So it just stamps up.
In it, no, that's not.
This one's up.
Okay.
It's going up. If I go the other way, it goes down. Boop. You see the way it changes to black? Right, so black will go down, white goes up. And it's a bit confusing because the alphas are always black and white as well. So black it won't stamp, and white it will stamp. Cool?
If you look at that from a different angle, it's just flat,
right? Yeah, it's going to be flat.
So it's going in, yeah, okay.
This one is going in. I know you can't really tell. Maybe it's easier if I use the cog. It still looks like it's going up.
And if you want to erase that, do you have to stamp it directly on top
it's going.
of it?
Sorry, it's going the opposite. This one is going in. Here we go. Say what? Sorry.
If you want to erase that,
do
you have to stamp exactly on it, like the opposite amount? Or?
There's an eraser.
Okay.
So that erases. Just make sure you're on the right layer. So yeah, like that's one way. But you see, like this is a hard edge. So when I stamp it, oops, I just made my eraser that stamp. When I stamp it, it's hard edge, so it goes like, it looks like it's stamped really hard. If I want a soft edge, that means I probably need to open this file in Photoshop and do like a blur on it. Or I think I can blur it here as well. Can I do add filter? Can I do a blur?
Can you stamp the curvy?
No, I can't do a blur. What do you mean the curvy part?
It's like the cylindrical thing.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. Give me a second. Let me just check if you can blur directly in Substance.
Can you blur outcomes?
What?
Like, would I be able to?
Oh yeah. Like, so, I'll make one now. Shelf Tools Blur. Okay, cool. So tools. Where is tools? Tools. Blur. Okay. I guess let's try it. Way. Okay, cool. That's pretty good. It's a bit hardcore, but I'm pretty sure I can drop the opacity. So stroke opacity. Is that blurring? Yeah, you can see it getting softer. Yeah. But to be honest, I probably would just blur the actual alpha. So let me make an alpha in Photoshop. That's very easy. No. We're not doing that. Just erase this off. Oh, why did I do that? And just remember, whatever tool you're selecting, if you select an alpha, it'll go to the alpha. So now I'm erasing in that, which you may want, like, so you can do cool stuff like that. You know, I'm erasing in that shape. Or if you choose a brush, it'll do the same thing. So I'm an eraser, and if I choose like a chalk brush, it will erase like a chalk. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the white brush. Get rid of all. Cool.
And we'll be exporting this in here to Sketchfab, yeah.
Sorry, what? You'll export the textures, and then you put the textures. Yeah, as a sketch. Remember, you can change the settings.
Yeah, that's what I was, yeah.
So it just depends on what resolution you want your stamp to be. Again, if you can go high, just go high because then you can save it.
Is that the highest we should go?
What?
Is that the highest we should go?
No, you can go higher, but like probably don't need it for an alpha. Culia. Alright, so I will make a new there and get rid of the background. So I want it to be oh, actually, I do want the background there. I want it to be black. And then I will put, what am I putting on?
Oh, you put white on.
What am I making?
Oh.
Yeah, what am I making?
Make a shamrock or something.
A shamrock or something. Okay, I'm gonna do that one. Okay, guess not. Why isn't it? Copy pasting? No? There we go. Okay, alright, again, you shouldn't upscale because I don't know if you can tell on the projector, but it just kind of looks fuzzy and not great. It's like, there is a new tool in Photoshop which is adaptive resizing. Photoshop adaptive resize or something like that. What is it called? AI scaling. Oh. I can't find where it is. Whenever I find it, I'll put it into the Discord. But basically, it uses AI calculation to when you upscale to try and keep it, and it looks way better when you upscale. You still lose detail, but it looks way better than this. Either way, let's upscale that. Coolio. Get rid of that, and let me just make that black and white. So saturation 0, and I'm going to increase the contrast as well, just to make it look a bit better. Because remember, it's only going to paint the white bits. And if I don't want this hard edge, I can just blur it. So filter. Let me make a copy. So the inside detail will be there, and then I'll blur the background so the edges will be blurred, but not the inside. If that makes sense. So filter, blur, and then you can do Gaussian blur. And you just make a little blur. But does that even do anything? Oh, there we go. Cool, yeah. Alright, so it's kind of blurred off a bit of the edges. Save that as a PNG. What is this? Shamrock or something else. Cool. And we can keep Photoshop there. And then I just need to just drag it in again. So where is it? Shamrock or something. And it asks you what you want it to be. And in this case, we want it to be an alpha. This is an alpha. Right, I can tell it to be anything else, but Substance needs to know what it is, because all the Substance sees is an image. It doesn't know what I specifically want it to be. And then, do I want to import to the shelf to keep it forever? Only this project or only this session. When I close, it's gone. So I'm going to do to the project because I don't want that on my shelf. Just going to use it for now. And then brush, just check my brush again. It is only painting height, and it's only painting height upwards or downwards even in this case. Cool, so there it is. Let's see. Just going to align it properly. Boop. Pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of.
It's soft. It's better than what.
I like it the other way. I like it embossed up. But yeah, it looks not too bad. Like it actually looks like it's engraved in by someone, so it's quite cool. You wanted to see it on the curve side, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the big ones are gonna screw up because it's gonna miss the edges. You know what I mean? Like if I do it like that, it's gonna. Oh no! Oh, they're smart now. Oh, look at that. They used to just like miss if it's not looking. I guess they wrap around now. That's pretty cool. Or I was going to say the other option is you stamp it on the, the UVW texture here, because then you know for a fact you're getting it. But I guess they're smart now. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Can you like manipulate the stamp itself? Like, can you make it? Can you squish it, or can you make it taller? Like, can you distort the actual shamrock shape before you stamp it?
Distort it.
Yeah, so like
I'd
say
probably do it in Photoshop, to be honest, to be easier. Like I don't really know what you mean unless.
like say that shamrock, right? Say
Yeah.
you're trying to get it on a smaller space. Okay, we want the same height.
So I just want to squish it down, like yeah, I'd probably just do it in Photoshop, to be honest. Let me see if you can do it in projection. You can also do projection, and in projection, you can use that as the texture, and this will paint in that height. But I don't know if you can squash it here. No, doesn't look like. No. Don't know. I don't think so.
I was just curious.
I don't know why you would, because like it's already your alpha. I honestly don't know. Maybe there is a way.
Say if you
I can
want-
project it like this, so that's pretty cool as well. And that's on that. Say if I want what? Sorry.
No, no, just say if it was like a triangle shape. Just for example.
If you want to squash it down,
And you wanted it to fit in the triangle to look like.
probably just do it Photoshop. Probably would. Cool. So that was alphas. That's done. I showed you something source. Done. Okay. Now the other thing is, do you remember I showed you how to make ambient occlusion maps? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Kind of very vaguely. So I've got
Really
to
vague because I didn't see it.
texture set settings, and I need to get rid of this because it's wrecking my head having a shamrock fly around. Cool. Scroll down to the bottom, and here, bake mesh maps. So you can bake the maps yourself. These used to be way harder. You had to bake them in different programs, but Substance allows you to do it. So I'm going to turn off everything. I don't need any of these except for curvature and ambient occlusion. And there are settings for each of them. You can go in and you can like make it more like correct, like more a higher quality or whatever. And
Is that updated in real time?
no, it doesn't. This has to bake for you to see it. You can always keep baking over and over again though. You can bake over and over. So I'm doing a curvature map as well. So what a curvature map does, see if we can find a picture online. The curvature map's like this, and it tells you, here, that's a good example. Any places where there's angle changes, it kind of highlights as white, so it tells you like here, there's been an angle change. So you know the edges of stuff. And I'm going to show you why that's useful for you now in a second. Here's another option. So like it kind of just tells you, oh yeah, here's where it's not flat anymore, it kind of does an angle change, and it highlights those areas. Ambient occlusion, you all should remember from before. If not, ambient wee little shadows. Literally stuff like this, like where there's cavities and sockets and stuff. I know it looks horrifying. You're gonna do that next semester. Or like this rock, where there's like little bits, you know, like that are close to each other and deep down, kind of makes a shadow in them. So those are ambient occlusions. All right, so I'm gonna do both of them and bake. You might be able to see the model change depending on how big a change it is. It takes, oh no. Okay, it's cool. Right, did you see that? I don't know if you saw that. It got a little shadow. Maybe I'll turn it on or off. Where's the ambient occlusion map? So if I zoom in, see here, there's a little shadow here. If I turn off the ambient occlusion map, it's gone. And if I add the ambient occlusion map, back, it's there. Cool. All right, and then curvature map. I don't think it shows on the model. Okay, cool. The thing is with these occlusion and curvatures, they are saved as textures. So I should be able to find them in the textures folder. There you go. Ambient occlusions there, curvatures there. So they're saved as texture. What? No, when I baked them, they went to the textures folder already.
Like when you export them, you have to put them into
I need to find them manually. Yeah, I need to manually find them and right click export. Okay, so they're in the textures folder, which means I can use them as textures, even though right now they're in the map slots, but I can also use them as textures. So let me show you what I mean. Go back to layers. I'm going to add a material, and I'm going to add, let's say, brass. So I'm going to make it all pure brass. Cool. And because the height layer I painted is above the brass, it still has the stamp. If I put the brass above this, Oh no, it still works because the brass have a height. Oh, the brass doesn't have a height. Okay, but if that material had a height, it would overwrite whatever's below it, right? Or blend if the height was not was at a lower opacity. So in this case, it doesn't have a height, so it doesn't affect. So that's great. So I have got like a brass little stamp, which actually looks pretty good so far. Then I'm gonna try and do two things. So when you see real life items, so let's look at like an old. Give me an old thing that's cylindrical. Don't. Wax stamp. Oh, that's great. Antique wax stamp. Okay, it kinda. So there's ambient occlusion inside, so you can see it's really like dark inside it. And also there's edge wear, like generally there'll be wear on the edges because the edges get knocked a lot, and they'll also be kind of where bits meet. In really old stuff, rust kind of collects there because everywhere else you touch it or like you can polish it, but where the edges meet, it's very easy for dirt and dust to get trapped inside it. So they're generally like where the dirt is. Let me see if I can find a better example. God dang, antique microscope? No, they're all clean. That's annoying. Okay, that's great. Micro antique. Alright, that's a good one. So like basically it's kind of just everywhere. It's not really very good. I'll just show you what I mean. Hopefully it works here. Grant. Alright, so I have this brass, and then let's say I want like a rust material or something. I don't know if I have a rust material here. I think I do somewhere.
Can you search?
I can search, yeah, but I don't know if it's called rust. Oh, steel rust. Load. Oh, there's rust here. Okay, let me do rust fine. So I'm going to slap on the rust up here. Slap it on. But I don't want the rust to show up everywhere. Like it actually looks like quite good. This rust is quite good. But I don't want to show up everywhere. Let's say I only want to show up on the little edges here, you know, like where because they're collecting there. So first I'm going to do a mask, but I can add a bitmap mask. And the bitmap is an image. So I add bitmap mask and I go to ambient occlusion, and now it's blocking everything except like, you know, the parts that are blacked out. So it's opposite of what I want. I want the rust to go in those little areas. But that's fine. On the mask, make sure I'm not selecting the material, I'm selecting the mask. You can right click and you can do levels, add levels. And there's an invert, so invert. And now the rust is shown up here. It's not very strong though. I don't know if you can see it, like it's tiny bit, tiny bit here. If I turn it off and on, I don't know if you can see it. All right, it's not very strong. But because it's levels, it does make a difference. But because it's levels, I can up the levels, just play around with these. And this kind of controls how far, like this is way too much. But oh my god, show your face. You can kind of control how much shows up. And then because it's JPEG, you can also drop how much it is, so it's not like, you know, super strong, the opacity of it. And now it looks like some rust is just caught up in there, which really nice little, beautiful little kind of makes it look so much more real. Okay, just having that little rust in there. And then I'm going to use the other one I want to use is the curvature map I showed you that will work on edges, and hopefully now you can kind of understand why I want that, because I want the edges to look kind of worn. I'm going to go to this brass. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is make a copy of this brass. So copy layer. Why doesn't it copy? Duplicate layers. Here we go. Okay, cool. Hide that one. So this is shiny. If I increase the roughness, it'll be less shiny. Okay, cool. And I might want it to be shiny on the edges only. Okay, and then I'll make it like so it's very rough aside from the edges which have been hit, so they get smoother. So let's see how I can do that. So this brass, again, add bitmap mask, and I'm going to go for the curvature. Boop. And again, levels, and hopefully I can control that. I should probably make a different color, right? Because this looks way too hot. Can I change the color? Yes, I can. So on the levels, so I don't know if you can kind of see that. It's kind of only affecting areas near the edge. If I turn it on and off. Yeah, it's kind of only affecting areas near the edge here. Sometimes I do find you need to edit the curvature map in Photoshop though. So let's see if we can find that texture, curvature, export resource, shamrock curve. Oh, this one export to here. And let's open that in Photoshop and edit it. Right, so I'm going to just increase the contrast on it a lot. So you see the way it's like it's highlighting wherever this edge is. I've increased contrast a lot, and I'm going to blur it. Oh wow. And I'm going to make it stronger by copying it and setting it to screen, because screen will only show whatever is not black. Screen. Filter, blur, thousand blur. So does that kind of make sense? I'm just like, I'm grabbing the edges, but I'm making it a bit blurrier, so it kind of like affects more of the area. Yeah, there we go. Affects a bit more of the area, kind of thing. Cool. File, save as. Curve mask. And I'll use that one instead. So curve mask onto here, and this will be a texture, not an alpha. Import to project. So there you go, curve mask, and I'll just replace. Can I just drag it in? Oh, I have to delete this mask. There we go, curve mask. So you can kind of see that it's already. Can you see that? It's only affecting like the bits which curve, and I can obviously do the levels again to make it affect more or less. So. Alright, so now I've got edge wear, and I didn't even need to do like manually painted it. I just had edge wear using that mask, so it's edging on anywhere that's curved. And if you want to, like, you don't want it to be a pure line on the run. If you want it to be kind of broken, you can then put this into a folder and mask that folder. So I'll make a. Let me make a folder. There we go. Folder. Put that into that folder. And then add a mask to the folder. So I can add like a white mask to the folder and paint in black. Let's brushes. So let's do that, and I'll paint in. Sorry, paint in black. and I can just get rid of like some areas like that, especially if I make it a bit soft. There we go. Okay, so I can kind of control like not having it completely there, not having it all the way around. Cool. Any questions? Say what?
The back of the same like that.
Yeah. This one? Yeah, I can just erase it off. So done. Cool. Any questions? G? Okay, cool. Do you want to take like a little break and then I can come around and look at all your models individually?
Yeah.
How do you feel? Alright, cool. Let's take a little break.